started thinking quick. I said, well, how about if you had, say, like, if there were bridges across from one of the towers to the other, could you then rent 2 floors across? In other words, all you'd have to do is you could walk on a flat from one part to the other, because now you'd have to go up and down in the elevator, and it's pretty small in an elevator, so you couldn't bring your work back and forth with any convenience. And so I started telling people about that, and what I had planned, I said that you could have from like the 5th floor up to the top, you could have 17 bridges. I said, that's it. That's the magic number.
Right.
And so they told that the guy that was the head of my department brought that up to the partners, and they thought it was great. So they all called up the liaison officer. He thought it was great. He says, "I'll run that by the old man." So I'm sitting there, working out things where the bridges go, having them built right into the structural center and the thing welded in, and so they told Yamasaki about that, and then he shot back, whatever guy thought of that, fire him right away. Because I want 2 freestanding towers that are visually vibrating. They're very close together. So what he was doing was producing an 11 in the sky.
Right.
And an 11 which was not the same height. Because the 2 towers were dedicated to David and Nelson Rockefeller.
Right.
And one guy, one of the brothers, was taller than the other, so they made a 6-foot differential in the towers. Now, so I said, I just can't believe what these guys are doing. That it would have been great to have done that. If anything ever happened to that thing, you could have people, you could empty the thing out.
Right.
Because if one was on fire, you could bring all the people over to the other one and bring them out. So you'd have 4 or 5 hours extra from anything of that kind. And he was the one that got the Ben Laban Construction Company started.
Right.
Because that was a construction company that was just limping along, not doing anything. So he trained them in his style. So he came over and had them work on the World Trade Center, because I remember one day working on that.
Wait, you say the Bin Ladens were working on the trade towers?
Well, not Osama.
Right.
He was one of the trust fund kids.
Right.
That came out from this, and then that's why his own 50 children have each one has about $1 million in the bank, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But the construction company that Yamasaki used, he had to use, obviously had to use some American ones in there, but these guys were very close, or they were like right-hand men. To Yamasaki, and they would go around and to different desks, and one of them came over to me. He was wearing a turban and all this kind of stuff, and and he says, where should we put the demolition devices?
Oh yeah.
And I said, what the hell are you talking about? Why? This is a piece of paper. There's nothing up there yet. He said, well, that's we're we noticed in Las Vegas that people have that stuff, and it's starting to to spread through New York. And I said, what's starting to spread?
Yeah.
Well, to put in demolition devices before before you take occupancy.
No way.
And that means, and the reason for that is like what is what happens in Las Vegas. You know, like if the Bellagio Hotel figures it can make $100 more by moving the hotel 3 feet to the right or the left, they'll tear it down and do it.
Right.
You know, and so this is the same deal, because I remember, you know, like in the 60s and the 70s, if you went to New York on any regular basis, and then you were away for a while and you come back at the same spot, there'd be a new building.
Right.